Hello, everyone. So, you'll excuse me if I decide to take it a little bit easy today because it's been an exhausting day. I have some big things coming up in a few weeks that I have to plan out, so I've been on the phone a lot for that. And yeah, it's just been a super, super busy Saturday. So, you'll excuse me if I keep this simple, and we are going to be doing a website dive, but we're going to be doing it on TFWiki.net, the Transformer information website. Now, I always want to try and do something of a website dive here, but I've never really thought of what would be interesting because it's just informative articles. But here, I think there's something I've always wanted to do, so I think today is a good day to do it. We're going to go down the rabbit hole of the suggested article on the left side of the navigation bar. You can't see it on your screen because I have opted to leave you in the dark as to what's coming up next. I can see it, and I'm just going to... So what's going to happen is I'm going to click on it. We're going to check out the article. It could be a major Transformer character. It could be a super obscure human. It could go to KISS players for all I know. I have no control over what we're about to see or learn about. If it's something I know about, I'll go ahead and give you a little bit about it, and we'll just quickly move on. If it's something I've never heard of, then I will be amazed. But we'll also take some time to go over it. All right, so with that said, first click, and we get Ape Link. Absolutely beautiful. So, yeah, Ape Link, one of the early BotCon exclusives, done from Transmetal, Optimus Primal, obviously. He's gotten a few toys since then. He came back in Timelines, which was a nice reuse of that Cybertron / Beast Wars 10th mold. Sentinel Maximus had him as a minicon because he was part of that character's mythos. Actually, kind of like one of the earlier attempts at creating a brand new character out of an existing mold that was very characterful. And I mean, I think they did a decent enough job. Like, they went really hard into a weird color scheme to make him feel different from Primal. I've never been huge on Ape Link, but not terrible. I've definitely seen worse out of BotCon, OTFCC, whichever you want to say. Okay, so I swear to God, this is random. I swear to God, this is random. I have no control over what comes up on this left bar, but Star Saber was one. Oh my God, how did it know? How did it know? Also, at some point, I want to go through all these different faction logos that are on this website because, man, there seems to be a million. Like, Black Arachne alone's got over a dozen on hers. Girl can't pick a side. We know all about Star Saber. We don't have to stay here very long. I'm almost curious. I'm just kind of curious in what scenario he was a Decepticon at any point. That seems off to me. All right, next up, Simon Furman, legendary writer for Transformers, especially the UK comic run. Brought back a lot of. Brought back a lot of times to tell some stories, especially Grimlock-related ones. Never ask him to write female characters. He never had a good way of introducing RC in G1. He didn't have a good way of introducing RC in IDW 1.0. You can see in the contents, there's a whole thing with him and female Transformers. I have a whole rant set aside for this. We won't get into a Simon Furman rant today, so let's just click and move on. Transformers Battle Tactics, a game I have never looked into. Android, iOS, that's probably why, because I don't bother with mobile games. Battle Tactics, multiplayer battle game published by DNA for mobile services. Over 75 characters designed after toys from different lines, classic generations, etc., etc. Okay, it's I just want to know what type of game it was. Is it? Because multiplayer battle game doesn't tell me anything. Okay, it is an exhaustive list of characters. I don't know. I was looking for, is it MOBA? Is it tactics? No, it's team based. whatever. It's a mobile. Not that I'm not interested enough to figure out. Moving on. Movie Optimus Prime. Ironically, using the brightest, most colorful picture of movie Optimus Prime that was ever officially drawn. Why? Okay, there's another article we really do not need to stick to. See. Next up. Next click. If it will actually load. Dull surprise. An MST3K reference. Okay. Dull surprise is when a reaction is supposed to be happening, but instead a person just stands there with a blank, slack-jawed expression when they're supposed to be shocked. It is also, as this article demonstrates, the permanent expression of Energon Ironhide. Yeah, Dull Surprise was a bit they did in Mystery Science Theater 3000, and it is nice to see. Interesting to see that is a thing here in a Transformer wiki. Yeah, and it's describing Pat Lee's art specifically. So, yeah, nice little bit of etymology there. Again, I swear to God, this is all random. You can see, like, I'm not cutting this. There's no edits. There's no nothing. I have no control over what's going on in the bar, and you can see my hands are not. You can hear I've not been clicking a keyboard. So when a hot shot comes up, it's not my fault. It's the Prime hot shot. So the Prime remold Bumblebee is in there too, but it's mostly about the Rescue Bots Academy version, which is probably the most appropriate place to put a hot shot. Now, keep this in mind. Of all different incarnations of Hotshot, I would probably call this one my favorite, because I think he's very appropriate for the show that he is in. I like his design here. I actually like how Hot Rod looks, or Hotshot looks in this series. I think it's a good job keeping him separate enough from Bumblebee that I would be able to see him and Bumblebee in the same series and not get confused or feel like it's overkill. So this is all very, very good. I like Academy Hotshot. Good for me. Clicking again. Cobra Commander with a photo of him kicking a puppy. Okay. We know Cobra Commander too. And for G1 and for Transformer Connections, obviously the G.I. Joe crossover comics, but we also include his appearance, his cameo in the Transformers cartoon, where he has the same voice actor, has the same mask, has blue underneath his trench coat, and is a former leader of a terrorist organization, but is never actually called Cobra Commander, and cannot scream the old battle cry without a coughing fit, so we don't get that in either. I'm not really sure why there is a legality there where you can't have a Hasbro-owned property reference another Hasbro-owned property, especially when they're being animated by the same company. I don't know. It's weird. I never understood why they had to do that. I need to look that up to figure out why they had to go that route. But I don't know, it's just always been weird to me. G1 Jazz. We know plenty about G1 Jazz, so I don't think I need to hang out the net article too long. Alignment. Really? Pseudo-canon. It's a Simon Furman unofficial Transformers novella. It's a fanfic. It's Simon Furman wrote a fanfic designed to tie up the loose threads over from the Generation 2 comic to bridge the gap between G1 era and the Beast era. So is Simon Furman trying to go from the end of G2 to Beast Wars? And I'm sure that is dubious at best. Yeah, there's no official license. Oh, and also shock of all shocks. Grimlock is the main Autobot. Grimlock is the first Autobot to show up in the series. Huh. I'm actually kind of curious how that turned out. Not too hopeful, but we'll see. We'll see. I actually might do something separate on that at some point. All right, next up, Armada Optimus Prime. You just want to keep me in Armada today. Okay, I see what you're doing, TFWiki. I see what you're doing. Let's move on from that. We know him. Decoys. There's something that modern Transformer fans would... If you are new to this fandom, if you got into this pre-80s, you have no idea what a decoy is. So, decoys were little... They were marketed as like clone characters of like the G1 cast. So like the whole idea was like it was a freebie thrown in. That's basically supposed to be like a little stand-in of a random character. So Goldbug here actually had a Megatron as his. So it didn't have to be like the character. It could be pretty much any of them. So I can't remember. I can't remember the name of the toy line, but in America it was called Muscle. You remember the little Muscle Men figures, the little rubber wrestling guys. So that is an entire like genre of toy in Japan that they still do today. So that's essentially what this was. It was Hasbro having access to those that they were doing for Transformers and releasing them here. So and you see in Japan, they just did like gift packs, so you just get everyone all at once. Here you had to buy the right toys at the right time to get a whole collection. So they were weird. They were weird like that. Enter the Nightbird, appropriate for the video I did recently. Yeah, so it's actually not a bad episode. I think it's weird how, like, because there's so few female Decepticons in G1, that this is as close as we ever got. So, like, she keeps reappearing in fiction. She just reappeared in Cyberverse. And she is the go-to retool for RC. Imagine this. Nightbird, who isn't actually a Transformer, has a Masterpiece toy before Trailbreaker, before Jazz, though Jazz is a copyright trademark reason. Not even a trademark or copyright. It's like it's a licensing issue. But still, weird to me. It's weird to me that Nightbird gets so much attention for only being a one-episode non-character. Moving on. Speaking of non-characters, here's a movie wrecker. They are meant to be... they are designed to be jackasses, and that is their character trait, is that they are all jerks. Let's see. Let's see. Weapons expert. Okay, so... he's the weapon builder of the Wreckers, gets along with Ironhide. Yeah, so nothing especially, like, weird about him outside of, strangely enough, during a period where they couldn't release enough movie toys, his original deluxe toy never came out. All of these, like, we have Studio Series corrected this. Eventually Studio Series corrected this. But once upon a time, like, you couldn't get a match set of movie wreckers. If they're all in one same size class, then one of them out of the batch was missing all the weapon accessories, or vice versa. Like, two were like normal stock race cars, and then only one had the weapons. You can see, like, on Leadfoot here, his Human Alliance actually has no weapons showing. I don't believe that was the case. I remember, but I don't think they all came out as Human Alliance. I think the only size that got all of them were supposed to be supposed to be like the Cyberverse. I think was the only thing. It was weird. It was really weird how they didn't match. But yeah, that Leadfoot's a whole other thing. Let's see, RC from War for Cybertron. I have another video that has to be made all about how the aligned continuity has no continuity, and we just trying to figure it out. But yeah, always really liked this RC. She's a very solid character. Moving on, because we know her. Signal Lancer! This one's fun. There's a running gag. If you hadn't watched Cybertron, there's a running gag in Cybertron about this pair of Autobots. Like in Cybertron, everyone, like all the Autobots evacuate the planet, and and everyone just takes Earth forms to hide on Earth while they fix the whole like Unicron black hole problem. There's a phone booth and a stoplight in the middle of the desert, and the stoplight isn't even at an intersection. It's just a red light. And there's a running gag where people drive through and go, why is there a red light right in the middle of the desert? And it is where these two are hanging out. We only got to learn Signal Lancer's name. We didn't get to learn the payphone's name. Though apparently TFWiki says his name is Freaker. Ask Vector Prime gave him the name. But I've always loved Signal Lancer. He got this like super over-the-top stock transformation sequence. And it was it was basically Mudflap reskinned. But it was super cool that we actually got like a little bit of like fun with that character. And let's see, Raul. We know about Raul from the G1 cartoon. He was Trax's friend. Showed up 2 episodes, which is actually like a lot for like a one-off episode character, because typically they didn't show up again. But good to see that he did come back. Signal Flare. We know Signal Flare he was one of the Omnicons in. Still don't know why the good guys had Omnicons. They just, at the time, I guess they were still weird about reusing terms. Like, this is the series where they didn't call Wheeljack because they used Wheeljack the previous series. So, still weird about, like, reusing terminology. So, they didn't want to have, like, new Omnibots. Which is still weird. Still weird. Package art. Package art? What am I going to learn about package art? Is there a video in package art? Can I do like just like a video based on like packaging art? I don't know. I do know there's a whole video to be made about giving package artists their due, because like for some weird reason Hasbro doesn't even let them tell you what drawings they did until like way after the fact. God forbid you give some artists some work. Matrix Cannon. Where is this from? Armada Weapons. Oh, it's from the game. Let's see, yeah, oh god, it's been so long. It's been so long, I totally forgot about that game having, like, something, like, I forgot about the Matrix Cannon. It's been long. The letter page to Marvel UK. When I said these things could be anything, this is what I mean by anything. Let's see. Soundwave hosted a bunch of issues. That makes sense other than being a bad guy. Ratchet hosted. Grimlock hosted. Dreadwing hosted Dread Tidings. Interesting. And then Blaster. The Blaster is another one that, see, like, between, like, how much he likes human culture and being a communication device, that seems like he would be the go-to. You know, for as long, you know, at least when he started to exist. Let's see, Andrew Wildman. All right. So now we have another famous comic book artist as well. Whew. So this could go on forever. Obviously, this could go on forever. I don't want to go too far because this video is already hitting. Yeah, it's already about to hit the 20-minute mark. But you know, you can just like click on this. You know, there's Guzzle, there's Thor, all things. June Darby, Clicker from IDW, I've never heard of. Oh. Well, that's the end of the video. I've reached the end of TFWiki. There is no more. I've completed it. Thank you for watching, for reaching the void with me, and I'll see you next time. Guys, I am facing the most powerful enemy any YouTuber can face, the algorithm, and I need your help to defeat him. hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. Every time you do, we attack that algorithm and we drive it back until it can no longer defeat this channel. Thank you very much.